Ready to go today. Ready to go. All right, hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is February 17th, 2020, Monday, and I think it's President's Day here in the United States. I don't really know what that entails, but it's President's Day and the banks and post offices are closed.
It's just a day off for people.
Let's go!
Some people.
Not
all.
So yeah, we put in work at physical therapy this morning on the leg, getting ready to play, got my teeth clean, and I thought of a song when I was sitting in the dental chair. You know, remember that song, was it Outkast? Ain't nobody don't pass me, my teeth are so fresh and so fresh and so clean. Yeah, you remember that? I was thinking that the whole time, you know? Vintage.
I don't enjoy going to the dentist, even though my dentist is pretty good. He's a pretty good guy.
All right, so I want to start today's show off with a reminder of how brutal life can be. So this isn't a funny thing. This is a rather serious thing. So I figured I would bring it up because it's something that I think we discussed for quite a while this morning, and we've discussed this over the years a trillion times. But I came across an article earlier today, and the article was actually about 2 years old, and when I read the article, I was reminded of the event. And by the way, before I mention the article, I think one of the reasons why we do this show is because we love and have a passion for tennis. We come from completely different walks of life, Carla and I know there's completely different walks of life out there. And what makes tennis beautiful is, for me, it's an international language. I've said it a trillion times. Because any walk of life, if they have a tennis racket or know a little bit about the sport, or they're a fan, and they're a respectful person, tennis brings everyone together. Yeah, no boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Just one, right?
Right.
You feel me on that? It's one of the reasons why when I watch the game, why I can't stand to watch people smash rackets, or I can't stand to see people snatch towels out of ball boys or ball girls' hands, or I can't stand to hear someone like Allison Risk or Sharapova or Schiavone just squeal like they're going through real pain to hit the damn tennis ball. Sound like they're getting their arm sawed off. Or some pig, getting its tail whacked off at the local butcher shop. I'm serious. It's hideous to me. But the article I'm going to make reference to, and I'm going to give her a shout out right here. RIP. And that is to an Indonesian girl by the name of Tuti Tursilawati and family. This is an all too common occurrence, and I'm not going to get too much into it because I'm too naive to talk about race, religion, politics, or any thereof. Tennis is what we do, and it's an international language. We're all one, plain and simple. But when I'm reminded of how this young lady gets her head lopped off on the public square with people watching because she, I guess, defended herself while being raped, and took her raper's life, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I don't care what the story is. Maybe the story's incorrect, but haven't we come to a point in time where we have to stop lopping heads off in the public square? I mean, is there a problem here? And maybe 20 people will unsubscribe because of whatever. This isn't about religion, the politics. This is about being one. I mean, is there any humanity in that? That's barbarianism.
Yeah, I thought we were over that.
Whatever.
Like back in the days, like way back before civilization started really evolving.
Yeah, and the only reason why I don't single out the occurrence or where it occurred is because it's frequent all over the world, believe it or not. But is there an issue with that still,
I think it's terrible that women get butchered like that, defending themselves. It's crazy, and that's why I'm thankful to be here. Really and truly,
no joking matter. Shout out to the family that I hear as I remember and reread today, that didn't even know that the termination of her soul was going to take place.
Oh, because she wanted to make more money and better her life and give her family a better life. But apparently this occurs a lot. So.
Serious stuff. And I'm sorry I even mentioned that. But I mean, I think that we have duty as tennis players, and those that think and act like tennis players with good sportsmanship, that, I mean, at least you can mention something. So I felt like I needed to mention something right there. Good enough?
Good enough.
All right, so we're going to start today's show on a tennis note, with all due respect to the Indonesian family and young lady. We are going to talk about the big three for a minute, and we talk about the big three so much, it sometimes gets old.
I know a lot of you guys, there are a lot of Federer fan viewers and a lot of Nadal fan viewers, and they say it seems like the show is becoming Djokovic. Well,
not true.
Not true. The only reason why is he won the Australian Open, and he seems to be the unstoppable one right now. If Nadal would have won, or somebody else would have won, or Federer, or whoever else, we would be talking about them.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why we've done a few shows. Plus, there being the same subject. You know, we've been answering viewers' questions, so we mentioned things here.
I have a feeling of someone, whoever is saying that, whoever.
It's people that were started with us.
Can I finish? Mm-hmm. I'm assuming those that say that are more or less not fans of Djokovic as much.
No, you even got one that said, "I love Djokovic," but it seems like I don't mind.
Put it this way: if Nadal just won his 20th major,
we're gonna be talking about him.
Wouldn't we still be saying, "Can Nadal win another? Can that would be the topic?"
Yes.
So I understand that, and we're going to venture away from that pretty wholeheartedly here. And some people may get upset at this.
Don't get mad at me.
Don't get mad because you asked for this. So let me go to today. Today alone, Carla and I on the way. We have to drive an hour to get physical therapy for my leg. I'm telling you, I'm coming back better than ever. I swear, I'm going to just destroy you when we get out there.
I'll play you lefty. I'll give you a chance.
Yeah. But we keep reading that Federer's era was weaker than the current era, or that if you look at the numbers, then Djokovic and Nadal are already better, and yada yada yada.
I don't like hearing that. I don't like hearing that at all because
it's elementary.
You got Federer that's 38, and the other two guys are a bit younger. So his era he started earlier, and they were just starting out their career. They weren't there yet because they were just starting their career. In the beginning of Djokovic's career, he couldn't even complete matches. And then he finally got stronger, started doing better. So let's start with his slams.
Before you start with the slams, I have to mention one thing that has to be mentioned before we start looking at this. What occurred fundamentally, just as we morphed into, say, the era of, let's say, Sampras's heyday, or Patrick Rafter heyday, a very young Leighton Hewitt, I guess you could say. What's
Leighton Hewitt and Federer are the same age, by the way.
I understand that. Yeah. Okay, but what happened in the game? We went from, say, the ultimate serve and volley. We started seeing the baselining grinding game with Leighton there. And I'm using that as kind of an example. What else changed besides the serve and volleying that made the change have to happen?
Rackets, strings, tennis balls, and surface.
Okay.
The surface was changed.
Now, it is not Roger Federer's fault. Sometimes I just want to tear their shirt off and freaking show everyone my Roger Federer tattoo on the center of my back. But I think
you have shown it.
But okay, well then I forget where it is. So don't challenge my integrity as a fan. I'm a realist. Federer is, at this point, in my opinion, has been on tour winning winning the biggest tournament.
This has been just made it to a final. I mean, I get that. Not too long ago.
I get that. I get that.
In a semifinal at the Australian Open.
But before we talk about the has-beens or whatnots, the rackets, believe me, I used to play with an 85-inch Wilson Pro Staff Original until I was like 19 in college. Now, if I go back, I had to change my forehands to continental and flat, or to eastern and flat, to a semi-western. My one-hander always stayed the same, but I learned how to throw in different kind of slices and spins, different angles off the one-handed wing by opening up the stance a little bit, but only being able to do that with driving with the same amount of power off stick was with the lighter rackets. I mean, I'm going to 12.5, 12.6 ounces at plus stringing. I'm going to 13 ounces to what? 10-1 with the string job making it 10-5. I mean, that's like the difference between you playing junior baseball with a little tiny baseball bat, pee-wee, let me throw this around, and then throwing up a freaking a 38-36
with a big barrel
dime dropper. It's a big difference. So as Federer transgressed the boundaries of the game change, then he was able to magically do what no man had done before, kind of like Star Trek, right? So, or was that Star Wars? I forget. But nonetheless, that's what occurred there, and it's not Roger's fault. And the field wasn't weak. It's just that his field coming in was playing the antiquated version. He grasped that version and kind of changed the dynamics of it on his own. Then the young Nadal comes around with the fresh new Babolat sticks with the original pure arrows coming in and whipping that thing around behind his ear. Game over. Game changed. Now we can talk about everything else.
Well, I mean, yeah, you pretty much said it. Let's start with all the slams because a lot of you guys say, well, it was weak. Well, I know that let's start with the Australian Opens and let's stick to the Australian Opens. He's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2004, he defeats Safin. Are you guys telling me that Marat Safin was a joke?
By all means,
was
no.
he a joke? Because he was a damn good player.
A damn good player. Now, did he win 19 or 17 majors?
No, because he was like a Kyrgios, except he was better than Kyrgios because he won quite a few slams.
Correct.
Then in 2006, he has Baghdadis, and you're going to say, well, Baghdadis sucked.
Yeah, he did suck. But he grinded out some matches, but come on. Baghdadis, okay. We wrote separately today, separate corners, physical therapy, she was a dentist, whatever, then me. Anyway,
well, he beat Nalbandian to get to the finals. And by the way, in 2006, Nadal and Djokovic's career was just starting. I mean... Yeah,
Nalbandian was always a threat.
2007, he beats Fernando Gonzalez. And I know you're going to say...
What's up, Gonzo? What's up, Gonzo?
Guess what? Gonzalez beat Nadal.
Can anyone name the racket that Fernando Gonzalez used to play with that helped to put Babolat in the place it was today? Wasn't it the Pure Storm? What's up, Rolando Vargas? What's up, Troy Trojans? Let's go, Troy.
And by the way, in 2007, Djokovic lost to Nadal, and then Gonzalez beats Nadal. So there you go. The two guys go, boom.
Yeah.
There's Federer.
Look, remind me, I don't know what time, but remind me to tag Rolando in this. I think Rolando Vargas used to play with the Pure Storm that Fernando Gonzalez played with.
2010.
Let's go, vamos.
2010, he beats Murray, and you guys can't say he's a joke because everybody talked about the Big Four. 2017, as we know, he beats Nadal. In 2018, he beats Cilic. Let's go to Wimbledon. 2003, he beats Mark Philippoussis. Mark Philippoussis beat Agassi before getting to the finals. 2004, he beats Roddick. 5, he beats Roddick. 6, he beats Nadal. 7, he beats Nadal. 9, he beats Roddick. 12, he beats Murray. 17, he beats Cilic. Roddick could have had many slams, by the way. Many slams.
Now look, if you look back at vintage Cilic, and I know he's still playing, but Cilic prior to him having, I think I understand that. But look back at Cilic though. Cilic still is a very dominant tennis player. Unfortunately, some injuries have plagued him in places where it's hard to overcome the injury, kind of like Del Potro's leg. But Cilic, in my opinion, shoulda, coulda, would have been a top 1 or 2 player. But it didn't really happen for him that way.
I skipped French Open. He beat Soderlund. We know what happened to Nadal that year. U.S. Open, 2004, he beats Hewitt. Hewitt was not weak. He won many slams, a grinder. 2005, he beats Agassi.
Never was a Hewitt fan over here.
Neither. 2005, he beats Agassi. 06, Roddick. 07, Djokovic. What's the excuse there,
I was
guys?
there. U.S. Open.
Murray. I think he lost to Del Potro when Potro won it. Right? Let's go to what else? Oh, yeah. I wrote here a few things. In 2006, these guys were playing. Djokovic, by the way, in 2004 lost to Hewitt. So he was a young guy, 3-1-2, lost badly. So he was still just starting his career. Federer beat Djokovic, by the way, in 2008 before making it to the final and beating Murray. So there you go.
While we were driving today...
Wait. Let me get to Djokovic.
All right.
I get to Djokovic.
Sorry?
He's won 2008. He beat Tsonga. Are you guys going to say that's a weak era? He beat Tsonga.
Tsonga took out Federer in a 5-set match.
Are you guys going to say that he was weak?
At Wimbledon.
No, this is the Australian Open. Are we going to say that Tsonga was weak?
No, you can't.
You can't. Nobody's going to say that. 11, Murray. 12, Nadal. 13, Murray. 15, Murray. 16, Murray. 19, Nadal, and 20, Thiem. French Open, he beats Murray again. What a surprise. Wimbledon, 2011, he beats Nadal. 2000 and Federer. 2015, Federer. So how many slams could Federer have won?
A lot, but that's a shoulda, coulda, woulda.
2018, Anderson. 2019, Federer. U.S. Open, he beats Nadal. 2011, 2015, Federer, and 2018, Potro. So Federer he didn't have a weak era. Yeah, Djokovic got better and tougher, and he made it to a lot of finals.
A win is a win and a loss is
I just don't like that whole weak era thing because I can say the same thing that, well, Djokovic beat Murray 11, 13, 15, 16.
Okay.
But I won't say that because a tennis player is a tennis player.
Okay.
And Murray's a great player.
I'm going to give myself, right now, before I even go there, the asshole merit badge. I'm going to give it to myself because that's what I mean, look, okay, can I talk now?
We just can't say that.
Can I talk
now?
Yeah. All right, because you talked for a long time on that.
Sorry, I'm just trying to make a point.
I was reading earlier today a comment, and I forget who left the comment. It doesn't matter. It was a good comment, but it was so ridiculously crazy, and I love the dude. But I read a comment that said that Roger Federer should not even be in the talk of the big three.
No,
it should just be the big two.
He just described it. We talked about that. He said, he should be the greatest.
I think that's the most ridiculous comment I've ever read in my life. I love you. I mean, what's up? You know, I like to talk smack. I'm still with you, shaking hands and that. What's up? But that's a freaking just a stupid. I love you though. I love you.
It's not a stupid comment.
It's a ridiculous comment. How can you say that Roger Federer shouldn't be in the big three conversation and it should just be the big two? Are you freaking crazy? Dude's got 20 majors. There's two people still trying to catch him. If the world ended today, then he would be historically the greatest of all time. Now, Boris Becker.
Well, he says the reason he said it is because the big three, he didn't win a lot last decade when the other two guys started to peak. Of course, the other two guys started to peak. They were younger.
That's a.
But he made it to the finals.
That's a hideous comment.
He made it to the finals against them and lost.
I don't even want to read it because it doesn't make any good sense. You're telling.
But he said with due respect. So
but
we all have to
disagree.
We all have to disagree.
Okay,
but that was wrong.
With all due respect in return. Yes. Again, this is smack talk. This is normal. We're shaking hands at the net. But in all due respect, the dude that you're saying shouldn't be in the conversation owns the most majors of all time. If the world ended today, he would still own the all-time. And 10 generations from now, who survived if time stopped and time began again, then he would be the greatest of all time because no one gives a shit about head-to-head and everything as we look back historically. Who's the greatest boxer? We talked about this so much it makes me sick. But to say that he shouldn't be in the big three conversation when the two that you're talking about hadn't even caught him yet. That's the most hideous thing I've ever said in my life or heard in my life. Boris Becker even weighed in on this today, and so did Tracy Austin. Both of them indicated that Roger Federer, a different era, but by the numbers or however it came out, or you can't always judge the game by the numbers or whatever. That Djokovic is the greatest ever. I do agree with it. I do agree with that. I think that Roger Federer is the most successful, and I think that is what, I think it was Boris Becker that said the same thing. Most successful, holds down the biggest sponsors, the Gillettes, the Rolexes, the Barilla pasta, even though I don't even know I've never even eaten that pasta before, so let's just whack that one off. I don't know who that is.
I should tell Becker, his 1985 Wimbledon champ, who the hell is Kevin Curran? That he beat in the final.
Well, okay, so
come on, man.
Anyway, so we're beating a dead horse here, but again, I think historically, you can look at head-to-heads all that you wish to do, but the common tennis fan or the common sports fan, or when the game goes down in Trivial Pursuit or Jeopardy on TV. The Jeopardy question isn't going to be who had the most heads-to-heads in 2017. The question is going to be more who is the greatest tennis ball player and holds the record of 20 majors.
Again, we're not saying that Djokovic knows it, but you cannot say that Federer had a weak era. I just went through this whole thing. 2006 he wins the U.S. Open. Well, Djokovic loses to Lane Hewitt and Nadal loses to Yuzny. That's not his fault. He loses to Enchik.
Look, and Yuzny's no joke. He will pound his face with his own tennis racket, and he does it with his
Here's a funnier thing.
Whoa.
Wait. In 2009.
I will beat my face with my Yanni. Bam.
Wait a minute. Bam. In Wimbledon 2009, when he beat Roddick at Wimbledon, Djokovic loses to Tommy Haas in 2009.
I remember that.
So whose fault is that? That's not a weak era.
Tommy Haas was a beast. Now Tommy Haas has a clean game, another shoulda, coulda, woulda story. We should do a show on Tommy Haas one day. The only thing I always didn't like about Tommy Haas's game is he was one of the first guys to wear the backwards ball cap on the tennis court.
Good looking guy.
Yeah, I can't look. I'll be honest with that.
Good looking
dude. Tommy Haas was a classy tennis player, and still is a classic tennis player.
Doesn't he direct some tournaments? No.
Do you know who I could say the Spanish version of Tommy Haas is? Who is it? Who's the Spanish version of
Carlos Moya?
No. Feliciano Lopez.
Oh.
Feliciano.
Yeah.
Feliciano.
Yeah.
Pretty boys. Let's go. They should have played.
He's never been my type.
If they would have played mixed doubles in Calvin Klein underwear, they would have sold millions of tickets. Let's go, Feliciano.
Now, if we put Safin...
Like tri-doubles.
And Thor... I can see that.
So okay,
Safin or Fusovic.
So you could have
two Russians.
You could have a classic doubles match. You could have Kachanov and Fusovic playing doubles in underwear against
Safin.
Okay, Safin and Kachanov.
No, we can do Safin and Fusovic.
Okay, Safin and Fusovic against Feliciano and
Tommy Haas.
Tommy Haas. See who pulls it out. Let's go.
By the way, I read a funny comment. Someone made that if Djokovic grew his hair longer, he would have more fans.
No, because no.
His hair type is like my son's type.
Yeah. He can't do that.
It wouldn't look good.
Yeah, we have 3 boys, 2 girls. Our middle boy, he's 15, loving the devil. What's up, Chris? Warm it up, Chris. I'm about to. Warm it up, Chris. That's what I was born to do. Let's get down. What's that, crisscross? Or their clothes backwards? Anyway... But Chris has the same hair as Djokovic. It's like a Brussels sprout.
Yeah, it's the same hair. Yeah.
If you grew it straight, it would be straight out to outer space and it wouldn't even bend. So you have to keep it on a low, like a fade. Otherwise, it's just freaked out. So
I got to cut his hair today, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. I got to cut that thing. I just had your hair and my hair wrapped around my ear. It's like when you marry a woman with long hair, you comb your hair and you realize that you have more of their hair around your ear than you have on your own head. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? The hair in your toes in the shower, hair around your ear. I think that's jacked up. I think girls should like pull the hair out of their comb.
Don't use my comb. Get another one.
But I don't have one.
Then buy one.
Well, you got to drive me because I got a peg leg.
You can drive yourself now.
Let's go. I sort of like having your hair wrapped around my ear or my big toe. I mean, that's kind of whacked out, don't you think? I should come to you and be like, man, get this hair off my toe.
You want me to shave my head?
No, I don't want you to do that, but
okay.
I think I should have a. But
anyways, let's go back to the Federer thing. Again, there should be respect for all 3. Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic. They have all done great things. There is no weak era. They're different ages. And can these 2 guys catch up? Maybe. Maybe not. Because as we know, it's tough. As Serena's trying to do, tough to tie sometimes.
If you put Roger Federer... Okay, this is like a time travel question. Now let's be objective here. Let's say we could morph through time and place. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you get it through your wormhole, we get up in a parallel universe, and we set up vintage Roger Federer, like the 2003, 2004 fluid era, just whipping balls everywhere and looking like Robin Hood on the court, right? Okay, give him a wooden tennis racket. Get Novak Djokovic.
Novak will do fine.
He'll do fine, I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. Okay, Novak Djokovic, and morph him back in time at his peak level. Some people argue which year was his best. Maybe even this one, this time is still going. And put him there, and then you get Nadal, and you put them, give them the same racket, and you put those 3 in one location. At the prime of their lives. I think Nadal would automatically be out of it because of his whipping forehand.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt him with a wooden racket. And we did a video of me hitting with the woody. And it's just a different animal. And you can really, you can kind of strike the ball with the woody. But if you're trying to rip topspin behind your ear, it doesn't work out too well. It's a dead feeling. You kind of hit it and it feels kind of like a thud. You hit with the modern racket with a dampener and you're like, boom, and the ball's gone. It's over. You're like, what? Get back. Eat some of my balls. Get on my balls. Get on my ball that I just hit at you. Let's go. Get on my...
That sounded terrible.
It's all right. So, but if you get the wooden racket, it's more like a thud.
Yeah, it's slow. By the way, going back to the Djokovic thing, we said last year that he was going to have a beast year. And then, because he won the U.S. Open before he went into the Australian Open. He won that. And then Nadal wins. And then he wins. And then Nadal wins. Could the same thing happen this year?
It's possible. I don't think Roger Federer will be in that mix like he was in last year. I think
it's going to be tougher.
I think it will be 2-2, or maybe a 2-1 and then a new one. But I'm still having
he's 38. Again, he did everything that he could do. I read a lot of comments where they said, "Do you think he would have retired if Djokovic and Nadal would not be close?" I think he would have retired. Yeah. But I'm sure he doesn't want to see that 20 pass.
Yeah, whoever said that is correct.
Yeah, he would have retired a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, if Nadal and Djokovic were hanging back at 9 and 10 majors, he'd already be cruising the 7 seas on his Rolex
He
yacht.
never expected that to happen. I'm sure he never expected that.
Yeah, he's fighting for his survival. Absolutely. But is it going to change anything inevitably? No.
No, all he can hope is that these guys go down.
Hey, what is this, guys? What is this?
Blonde hair? That's not my hair.
That's not blonde hair.
That's blonde hair. hair.
Oh, that's my daughter's hair.
Yeah, that's not my hair.
Just throw you under the bus on that one.
I don't have black hair.
That's a blonde one.
Yes.
All right. Sweep it up later. Let's go. Look, let's end it this way, end this topic this way. I do believe that Boris Becker is not going to be necessarily. I love him as a player, one of my favorite, best ever, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna believe what he said. It's kind of like I'm not gonna buy into necessarily, Goran Ivanisevic's thoughts about Djokovic already being the best ever because they're boys, and of course you're gonna say that.
My student, I'm going to say that. He's not the best.
I do think that Federer is a master class. I think Federer is the best to watch of all time. And at this point, the most successful. And at this point, until someone surpasses 20, the best. I think Rafa will always be the clay guy. It's going to be tough for him. I think Rafa's in there at 3. Djokovic, right now, I think being a statistician and a tennis fan and follower, and I follow it every day, all day with all of you, you know this. I think Djokovic head to head in this generation, looking at it, all of us looking at it, then okay, the argument is Djokovic is the best. But again, if time ended today, 200 years from now, parallel universe, wormhole, Stephen Hawking, the whole bit. Freaking someone pops out of a hydrothermal vent and whatever your deal is, and they look up tennis and like who was the best. It's going to be slam count.
Just like you would look at somebody saying how many Olympic medals they won. Same thing. How many NBAs did you win? How many MLB did you win? How many anything like
championships?
That. Same thing.
Now, at the end of the day, Novak Djokovic currently, barring injury. Barring injury, because in my opinion, he is one of the favorites, if not the favorite, because of his fitness level and his overall game and his package, is the favorite to win on any surface. Not the favorite, but one of the favorites, and I mean one of the favorites, excluding because of the French. He's the favorite to win the other 3. He's the favorite to win Wimbledon. He's
only won 3 U.S. Opens, by the way.
Because everybody.
He's only won 3 U.S. Opens, so I don't know if he's the favorite there.
Now
he's won 3, but he might win this year because according to Wayne and Chia, we haven't had a repeat champion in a long time.
Yeah. So with that said, Novak Djokovic, barring injury, I think has 4 more. We know he has the new school diet. We know
he's fit. You know what I predict? I think Nadal will win the French. Someone new will win Wimbledon, and then Djokovic will win U.S. Open.
It's possible, and it's possible anyone else could win it. But I say it's possible. It's a very slight possibility.
Let's be real. The 3 guys is what makes the tennis. If you guys talk about weak era, well, these other guys can't do anything. They just seem they can't beat these guys on the big stage.
We talked about on yesterday's show. We talked about this, and I talked about this 100 times. And again, don't tell me I don't have credibility here because again, I have 5 kids, and one of my boys is 17, about to be 18. He's a tennis player, and sometimes he really makes me mad. And I get in his face and I'm like, what? Don't talk. What'd you say, you're my boy? What did you say? He's a good boy. I've said that once or twice in his life. He's a good kid. But the boys, like I said yesterday, when I was Jonathan's age, respectfully to my son, he's a soldier. Hence why he wants to go to the Naval Academy. He's a soldier. He can get down. And I mean that in all sports. He can play football. He can play baseball. He can play tennis. Any sport, he'll go out there and play. He knows how to play. However, in the grand scheme of things, an 18-year-old, soon to be 18-year-old at his age versus when I was 18, 19 would destroy him. And I don't know if it's because of cell phones.
I would too. I would destroy him. I would have pounded him.
Yeah, I mean, you would just...
And most of my students, I would have pounded them too.
I wasn't talking about in tennis.
I'm talking about life.
I'm talking about in life.
I went through a lot of hard stuff, and I hear some of my students, I'm like, geez, maybe I was too tough or something, or my dad conditioned me to be that way, but even my friends that hung around me, we all went through situations, and maybe it was because we didn't have this. We had to fight, you know?
Yeah,
I don't know.
So this kind of generation, it almost seems like, sometimes they
give up so quickly.
Well,
they give up.
And not only that, let's just say common conversation. It's hard to get eye contact with some 16, 17, 18-year-olds. You're carrying on a conversation. You walk, hey, Howard, nice to meet you, sir. And for me, when I was a kid, one of the biggest things my father would always say, never give me a damn fish handshake. Meaning, you reach out your hand to someone and you give them one of these little weak little fish floppy handshakes. Get that crap out of my face. If I shake someone's hand and they give me a floppy fish, I'm like, man, I'm not saying it, but I'm like, dude, this freaking dude's soft. I'm like, man, I don't even want to mess with this dude. This guy's got no balls. But when you shake someone's hand, I don't care if it's male or female. Carla shakes my hand. She's like, what's up? That's how we roll. But when you get a floppy handshake from a dude, and you're a dude, it's whack. It's just whack. It's like whack. It's like you just want to go walk it off. And you get a lot of that these days. And I don't think it's necessarily just the me generation. When I was 19, I would like to go on road trips, just get in my car and drive, my old stick shift, rust it out, drive somewhere and go look at a mountain or a waterfall, throw frisbees, throw footballs, hit tennis balls, whatever. But the current 19-year-old is more either self-motivated. Let me look at myself. Let me study my social media page, which in all actuality is not really anything indicative.
A lot of them don't leave home. They're still at home.
They're stuck upstairs on the video games. They got girlfriends living with them already or whatever, and they know nothing about life except, self-generated stuff. And we mentioned the likes of, and I don't want to pick on just Felix Auger-Aliassime, but the Shapovalovs and the Zverevs and all these young men. At the age of 21, 22, 23, where was Boris Becker?
Boris Becker, you got to say he was a man.
He's a man, bro.
He's a man.
No, he's kind of...
Lando, too. He was scary.
Mans. What I'm saying? Getting down, fighting, Chang. All these guys were just balling. But nowadays, it just seems that they're not balling as hard.
I remember when Marat Safin beat Sampras. He was a man already.
Anyway, check this out. I've mentioned the first thing at the beginning and only one topic, and I have Gael Monfils, I have Kim Clijsters in stats, I have Dubai, I have Felix Auger-Aliassime jumping up to number 18, I have Naomi Osaka's miniseries coming up on Netflix. Who gives a shit? Just saying. I wonder if that takes away from her training. I had Edmund wins the New York Open. Oh my, is he gonna win Wimbledon now? I don't know. That's another topic. Then I have Delray Beach. And Delray Beach has kind of always been the tournament to kind of make everyone depressed about men's tennis in the United States. It's kind of always been the tournament where people go to come back from injury or to...
Are we talking about that now?
No, we don't have... I'm going to give a brief nugget on tomorrow because we went that was a great show, and I got so much more that for me is this involved. Tomorrow's show, Gael Monfils, he has his eyes on a major. Should he keep looking? Kim Clijsters, her performance, was it expected? Dubai, what's going on there? I know Anisimova lost. We had something written about that. Felix Auger-Aliassime jumps up to number 18 in the world. If he can hold that, even though he's not playing.
Paul, stop looking at his girl. I had to look at her picture just to see what you were talking about.
And then I have a Naomi Osaka nugget. I have a Naomi Osaka nugget, and we were just kind of getting warmed up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that tomorrow, and I'm gonna end it with a let's freaking go. And
don't hate us, but we have to be fair.
But yeah, I mean, all is fair in war. This is tennis. We love you all. Believe me. Let's get down. I promise you. This has become part of life, and it's nice to navigate through life with you. Please, on a serious note, try to spread the word that maybe we shouldn't be cutting people's heads off in the public square anymore. And big shots out to the Indonesian family at the end of the day. Much love. Take care. Let's